Hi, good people. Welcome again to News for Sure. Let's listen to this analysis.
Line 10. You said the following, and I quote, Wabeni, I'll start from, I'm sorry, my I'll start from line number 9. I then took the 38 special firearm from Kwabeni's hand and I looked at it. I asked Kwabeni if it was not the same firearm which he has said he threw it away in the river after shooting Snakho with it. Close quotation.
So, good people, at News for Sure, this is part of my TikTok profile, which is Njabulo Gaza Nation, basically. I started with this TikTok back 2023, if I'm not mistaken. What I try to do is you'll see that it's only clips on the court proceedings. Then I responded to that through in a form of caption. But in this specific video that I'm playing for you is that I am saying that remember yesterday I spoke about the problem being Judge Ratha. Now, on this clip, you will hear when Advocate is Chulele Ngumalo cross-examining a Zungu constable. They talk about the incident of Snakho. Snakho is this person whom the incident appears to have taken place around the process of 2017. But then now, Zungu is saying he was in the event on the so-called party that took place around 2014 at the hostel. Now, if then the event took place around 2014, how is it possible? Because in court, we know about the famous phrase that, is this the same firearm that you use to accidentally shot or snap? Now, if then we unpack these proceedings, you then start to hear what does Zungu says. But then also in this context, in the same clips, you will also hear the interpreter. Zungu will talk about 2017 and 2023. Now, the interpreter will refuse to say 2017 as well. So hence I said that, you know what, the court there is really corrupt. Let's listen to this clip.
I saw that. According to your knowledge or information, when did the incident of Kwabeni shooting or firing shots at Snakho took place? Lesi sigaba sokuthi uGwabeni adubule uSnakho senze kanini kuya ngawo? Given the fact that he is no longer alive, he's passed on, and I respect that, and my condolences to that. I wouldn't wish then to comment on him, given the fact that he's already passed on, and that we should respect his family as well. Not once or several times. I should think that he also should be respected as much as Senzo's family, or that justice should be shown to him as well, as much as justice is being shown to the Senzo Meyiwa's family. Therefore, I would choose not to answer that question. It has taken you a minute for you to answer the question. The question that I did not ask. Okay, no, I'm not inviting any trouble, but the question that I was asking was that when you spoke about the incident where Kwabeni fired shots at Snakho, when did that incident? Lana kuSnakho nini? Uma ngakubuza ukuthi akamdubulanga ngesikhathi esiyi-1, mangathiwa akadutshulwanga ngesikhathi esiyi-1, ngizobe ngiyifaka ekutheni
i-case enye esesayidini ukuthi udutshulwe kangaki, ebemdubulile before, wamdubula ngo-2017 okwaziyo, wamdubula ngo-2023, zocela ngingakuphenduli lokho.
I cannot, perhaps let me not answer that one. If I were to tell you that he was not shot once or at the same time, he was shot in 2023, in 1940, in different times, that as well will not be acceptable. Perhaps, therefore, I shouldn't be answering that question, or perhaps not comment to that question.
Isizathu salokho ukuthi akasekho ngeke kwazi ukuzoyiphendulela.
The reason.
Ngendlela ukuthi udutshuliwe noma mhlawumbe kwenzeka.
Now, good people, you heard that. The interpreter refused to say 2017. It goes like Nanin and which other date. So now, do you see what is happening in that court? When we say that the court is actually corrupt, that's these instances that when they take place, we ask ourselves, what is it that we're faced with? What is currently happening in this Ratha's court? Now, there's few things that one needs to consider now, is that if Ratha listened, now he will have heard, this is what Zungu said about the incident that Snakho may have been shot in 2017. Now, we also know that Zungu Senior told us that the incident of Snakho actually took place during the event where it was not an intention to harm a person. It's a gun that misfired when the boys were playing with the firearms. What am I saying, good people, is that it's the court evidence, it's the witnesses of the state that are making these utterances. If then these utterances, when we put them on the timelines, they're not making sense. And what is quite strange and very sad is that the court of Judge Ratha is believing Zungu. Court of Judge Ratha has taken a stand to believe the Constable Zungu. Now, how on earth do you go on and believe Constable Zungu, who said he took the note using pieces of paper, he took the note using slips, where initially he said he's the one that he wrote his own statement in his own writing and commissioned it. But then later on, he shifted from that. In his own statement, he says that he was there in the party in 2014, but then he has failed to provide information that he was there. He also makes mention that during that day on 2014, they also went to buy alcohol at Tops. In 2014 in South Africa, alcohol was not open. So there was no Tops that was open. There was no liquor shop that was open to be selling alcohol on that Sunday, the 26th of October. Now, what does that put us? It puts us in a position where we can clearly say that in Ratha's court, incidents that are taking place there, those incidents are really, 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 really are an embarrassment. The embarrassment, they're insulting our justice system, they're insulting our court. Now, what does Ratha then has to do with these things when if witnesses, they come before him and then they misrepresent the truth? Now, that's perjury. But in this series that I want us to pay attention to is that we need to understand that if you go to court and you're going to testify on the matter which took place in 2014, and you are claiming that you were there. But the information that you are providing is not accurate. What then do we supposed to do as South Africans? When we questioned witnesses like Zungu on the things that they say from their own mouth, there is also documented evidence that Snakho was first shot in 2017, around the first half of the year. And then the second time he was fatally shot around 2020. Now, how does the court believe Zungu? Why does the court, once they hear this, they don't seek questions of clarification? Let's pause there. If the court listened, the court will have corrected the interpreter and says, but you did not mention the element of 2017. We've had the court correcting the interpreter before. Now, what are we saying? I am saying that it seems as if the court is allowing its record to be manipulated. If this matter gets to be appealed, or if the transcripts are requested on this matter, I can assure you now, the clip that I played you, it's the only clip that we're going to have that has this information. But on the transcript, you will never hear anything on the transcript that will talk about 2017 because the interpreter did not mention that in English. So, do you see now that this matter is unappealable with the current status? This matter cannot even go to Bloemfontein for it to be appealed because the record, people will look for a place where a person said 2017. They will not find it because the interpreter did not read that, put it on record in English. Then what did the court say? The court has remained mum on that specific issue where the information that the witnesses mentioned is not interpreted correctly. It is not put correctly as part of the court record. Even all the officers of the courts that are there, including the defense lawyers, all the officers of the court, they went quiet. Now, do you see why I will say that based on what I'm observing, based on the things that I'm seeing, I'm at a point where I can easily say that in Ratha's court is a crime scene for corruption. Why do I say corruption? Because these corrupt incidents that are taking place there, these incidents of editing the court records are allowed to take place. The incident of the witness saying things that the court does not want to seek clarification on it. It's aiding corruption. It is defeating the ends of justice. It is being defiant. It is preventing law from taking its course. Now, we are going to be going through in detail on these pockets of incidents that are actually involving Zungu. I have said that Zungu is a liar. Zungu cannot be a reliable witness because Zungu in 2014, Zungu was carrying a different phone than the phone that he was carrying in 2017. And then The pictures that Zungu has, it's not the pictures that were taken on by Zungu's phone. Zungu may have collected the pictures from third-party people. Now, on the issues of the pictures of 2014 that involve Ngube, Ngube does say that at some point, while in custody at one of the prison, a phone was found in his possession, and that phone was confiscated, as well as the memory card with a lot of pictures. Who took those pictures? It's Brigadier Geninda. So those pictures have been used in the background to try and simulate the instances of 2014. I want you guys to remember the words of Murder and Robbery Unit. They'll always say, we take evidence to court, but then we will frame another person so that that evidence will stick. So for me, who's the lead investigator in this case? It's Brigadier Geninda. He told us that he worked for Brixton Murder and Robbery. So he started on the transitions of the apartheid. Yes, post 90, before 94, post 94. And we know that in 1997, the unit Murder and Robbery was closed. Why was it shut down? Because there were a lot of witnesses that were disappearing, a lot of corrupt activities that the police were busy with. Now, my fellow people, we at News for Sure, we will try articulate the court record and then put the element on the timelines, the information that is being mentioned there. We've played you a clip. In the very same clip, it is Constable Zungu, the trusted witness by Ratha. He said, Snakho was shot in 2017. So in that conversation, there is no way that the conversation that he said it took place between him and Kwabini in 2014 to prophesy that the incident will have taken place in 2017. I love you guys. You know what you need to do. You need to, when you see this information, please subscribe, click those like buttons so that we can continue making you the effort. I'll see you on other platforms like, you know where to find me. Thank you. Bye-bye.